Just hang tight. You said you're supposed to be with Goldie?
Stockton record.
Just hang tight here.
Yeah, there's upstairs windows.
Besides the 3 of you, is there anybody else in there? No? Okay, and then the rooms in back that are locked, do you have keys for those? Yeah. Can I borrow those keys so we can check and make sure nobody's inside?
There's a few locked back there, but that's it. Is that the freezer in the back that's locked? And then upstairs, is there anything upstairs that's locked? Should anybody be up there or anything? No one should be up there? Okay. In there, but I didn't go all the way to the back, so you want to do that first? Or- Again, I just didn't want to get locked in there.
I understand. That's no problem. Yeah, go ahead. Go for it.
Oh, absolutely. Cool.
I think this is gonna be a key, right? It needs a smaller one. I don't think this is. I don't think that's it yet.
No, the ones that are locked. All this got checked already?
We haven't done it.
Oh, okay. Sir, upstairs around in the back? What's that?
Here we go.
This is for the room we were just in.
Okay, that one's good. And is this one alright?
Unless, I don't think that was that big, right? That movie room? I thought I only saw one more.
We are checked. Probably. Excuse me. Aren't in control of it. I think that will.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, yeah.
Do you mind just giving it like 5 minutes? I'll be right out. Alright.
You haven't seen any access, right? To the church?
No, I haven't been around.
Well, the main thing I wanted to make sure is that there's no entrance. Yeah, yeah, just like.
Okay, I would appreciate it if nobody takes her pictures. Please.
Her pictures?
Like, I don't want her to be in videos or anywhere. She's a student and I want her to be in anywhere.
Do you want her to wait out in your car or something? Because they're going to be
Yeah,
videoing
that
like
would be fine.
everything.
You want to wait in the car? Yeah. Because I don't want you to be in any videos. Or... There's a lot of people over there. I don't think you guys are going to take a picture of that area. You should just wait over there.
I think they're going to take pictures everywhere.
I will try to not have her in pictures I'm taking.
I mean, if I could have her just wait over there, because I don't want her to go over there and the people, there's a lot of people out there. I don't know.
It's all city police outside if they made us read it.
Oh, okay.
It looks like we're doing something similar here. I'm Pierce with the receiver.
Roger Phillips with the Stockton Record.
Okay,
Newspaper.
nice to meet you. Roger Phillips.
Mm-hmm. Pierce?
Pierce.
Okay.
Pierce Harper.
Okay, can I get this? Can I get that too?
Is it under control now? What?
Did
Yeah,
it be
I
said?
think the officers are still over there making sure it's clear. Then we're gonna get everybody out.
Okay.
Secure it.
Clifford, you got your phone?
Yeah.
Can I make a call?
Yeah, wait.
Do you have any estimate on there's that whole back room?
Oh, here. You go to your car? Yeah.
It's not ringing.
It's not ringing. Oh, you know what? Cause it's my ear thing.
Oh.
Hello. She probably hasn't got. I forgot about that. No. Here, I'll try it.
Hey Barbara, it's hey, you can go with that word preview. Okay.
Right. Yeah, she's upset because they're closing the store. But the other part of that is they're closing the store, but this is just a symptom of what the problems are in the community. This is not going to solve the problems that we have in this community until they start addressing health issues, when they employment issues out here. Nothing's going to change out here. So this is just a little symptom. This is like a hiccup. This store, this is a hiccup. If you want to solve a lot of our problems, you need to remove the problems: drugs, healthcare, and employment. If you deal with them three issues, we can solve 80% of the problems that we have in this community. Until you deal with those mental health issues, employment, and opportunity, this community will not change. The closing this store is just one little aspect of what we need. And until we get that point, this community will still be suffering and behind the 8 ball, so to speak.
That was Reverend Ernest Williams, who lives nearby, speaking. And here's Fred Shield from Stand Affordable Housing. I know you've been waiting for this for a long time. What's your reaction to see it actually happen?
Well, what Reverend Williams is saying is right, but this store preyed on the drug addicts, they preyed on the alcoholics, they preyed on the mentally ill, and they preyed on the poor. And they're parasitic predators. and they're making a ton of money doing it. And they're recycling a ton of under-the-table illegal money back into the community to continue the drug trade and all the other illegal activities that happen and spiral around this place. It's not going to be a cure. As the Reverend was saying, this is a symptom of the greater problem, but we've got to be able to deal with the mental health issues and the employment issues. And a lot of these people they're not employable. It's going to take a long time. After you've been homeless and an addict or an alcoholic for a couple years, you're fundamentally unemployable for the next 10 years. It takes a long time and a lot of training, a lot of patience to get these people in these communities back on their feet. The problem is the greater society don't give a dime, and they just want the problem to go away. As they continue to feed the problem, and the problem continues to grow. Parasitic predators.
Parasitic predators. To see this actually happen, this is Michael Tubbs, councilman who's also running for mayor. You know, to see this day come, there must be some satisfaction for you, huh?
It's a culmination of 20 plus years of community crying out, of tragedy. It's exciting. It shows that government may move a little bit slow, but it still works, right? So since I've been elected for the past 3 years, working with the city's attorney office, police department, and code enforcement, to kind of build the case against New Grand Save, and I'm happy after 3.5 years now we're able to close it down and create something beautiful for the community. So it's a great day for the community for sure.
Maybe this time it was something particular, because even my aunt went to make a she came back.
Really? Just eating so much, maybe?
Oh yeah.
I didn't drink.
Just kind of water.
Anything and everything.
Yeah, that's probably drinking and eating.
Yeah,
Mixing all those
there's some in
things.
there. Probably been
That's
there for
good.
20 years.
When'd you get back?
Wednesday last
Some nice, like walking shoes and things like that too in the back.
I've been in here once. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we first started, I went inside and bought some sour cream.
It's kind of out of like, I just want a peaceful.
Well, I told my boss.
Hector.
I haven't talked to him yet.
This is Hector Lara from Reinvent South Stockton. You know, this has been talked about for a long time. To actually see it happen, what's your reaction, and what does it really mean? What does this day mean? I mean, is there above and beyond the actual act of closing it? Is there a lot of symbolism to be found in this?
Well, I think for me the bottom line is that when we started this process with Reinvent South Stockton with Councilman Tubbs, people said nothing's going to change and there is not going to be hope unless you actually show some tangible victories. And one of the things that people alluded to was like the building of clinics or closing of New Grand Save and stuff like that, and so beautifying the community, and so those things are starting to happen. So this is really a symbol of how all these partnerships of the city, nonprofits, residents working together can actually accomplish something that's been in a battle for 20 plus years. And so that level of collaboration and partnership is what really brings hope that this community can actually be something like what it used to be. And so that's what we're all working towards. And so we all collectively share responsibility in that work. And this is a symbol of how that can actually come to fruition in the future.
One of our viewers asked where we are, and just so they know, we're at 9th and Airport. What can closing a place like this in a community do for a community?
It's a start, because it's a stopping point to a lot of the negativity that's going on, and it's about rebuilding from there. And so when we think about not just shutting this place down, but what are we going to do with this space in the future that's going to actually be an asset to the community, not necessarily a negative. And so that's what it really is stopping that negativity piece and then building to the positive.
Thank you. Here is
everybody but city folks and my guys are going to have to, and you're okay, but we need to get some of the...
You don't need me either.
Huh?
You don't need me either.
Well, now I am planning, don't you have a meeting at 1?
Right.
And I am planning to come
Just
to
get
that.
it down to officials only and get everybody else.
No, that's why I wanted to alert you
I'm
that
not
that's
official.
about what I'm doing. And we're going to secure
start putting across the tape around the perimeter. So nobody else is coming in. Once they're there.
You all know this property is now under the jurisdiction of the court, and except for my team and the city officials, we need to ask everybody to get off site now. I am coming to a community meeting at 1 o'clock. I'd be more than happy to answer anybody's questions at that point. But I want to ask folks, if you're not in either of those categories, that is city officials or part of my team, to please move off, and I'm going to do the same with those folks out there. Thank you.
How about the media?
Yeah, just don't make a big deal out of it. And you know, the media and that the city council candidate, I don't mind him. I mean, he seems like he's a force for good. I am.
My name is
Oh,
Jay.
okay.
I'm with
Oh, nice to meet you. I watched your news program last night. So.
Would I be able to speak with you?
Yeah, let me
a little bit.
get
Yeah, I know
after
you're
all
busy
this is all settled down a little bit. But you just like them, you can stick around if that that's okay. We just need to get the other folks.
Okay.
So.
So that's Mark Adams, the court-appointed receiver, California Receivership Group. They are based in Southern California. They also were involved in a receivership project in Stockton about a year ago of an apartment building on Park Street that has been rehabilitated. So he's now in charge of the New Brand Save market here at 9th in the airport. Community meeting will be at the Stand Affordable Housing, which is about 2 blocks west of here at 1 p.m. On 8th Street. I believe it's on 8th.
You guys move out of the doorway for a minute.
Yes, 8th Street.
Thank you.
I didn't see any dog food in here, but
Pretty good.
I was so mad. And she's just so many minutes ago. I'm not sure what we can do.
Maria.
Hi.
Hi. What's it like for you to see this happen? You know, I know you said this place is
A lot of mixed emotions, in a good way. A lot of things being relived, but overall, I think it's in the beginning, not only for many families that have been affected by this, but for the neighborhood overall.
Is it part of the healing for you with what happened to your brother by here
Absolutely.
17 years ago?
Absolutely.
Yeah?
Yes.
Do you feel like maybe in some small way he's seeing this, or
Yes, I
really?
think so. I think he's certainly rejoicing over this. We have,
Oh, I hadn't seen that, but there's a little story.
you know, we're vested in this neighborhood. We grew up here, and it certainly is a step in the right direction for many families, neighborhood overall. And I think overall for the city in general, for the city to see that there is hope, that there is the opportunity, and that everybody deserves an opportunity to live in healthy and thriving communities, and then especially our, for our next generations to come, our children.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Two sites down on the church side, because it's not, so fire department's here to cut the locks now.
You're with Susanna Wood from the city attorney's office to see this day arrive. What are your emotions, and what can closing a market like this do for a community?
Well, I think that this has been the single biggest problem in this area, without a doubt, and I'm just glad that we're able to support the police department's efforts here. They're here all the time, and the residents are fed up, and I think it's a victory for the community. Just to watch this place being shut down, it gives them hope that this can actually be an asset for them, which is what they've wanted for many, many years. So I'm just proud to be working with the police department on this.
Sherry?
Roger, I'm not being on your video today.
You already are. Yeah.
Off camera.
Well,
Off camera.
we're kind of live right now, so
Oh.
maybe later, a little bit later. Okay.
It was a good question.
Okay. Why don't we turn this off? Can we go in now?
Not yet. They're still searching.
Okay.
I don't know, probably gonna secure it maybe. Just secure it.
Oh, so the church is going to go too?
I guess so, yeah.
The church only be open on Sundays.
This is crack. I'm white, so you need to just pay attention.
With the Stockton record, do any of you have anything you want to say about what's going on?
Yeah, I have something to say about it, sir. This is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? One thing is one thing, and another thing is another thing. But to go into the church, it was easy just to call up the person that runs the church and ask politely, "Can you please? We need you to come open up this door so we can get in."
Are they going to clean up the downtown stores and out north where all the drive-bys and people are getting killed?
Listen.
Or are they just taking this property because they need this property?
Instead of going in the church, that's sort of like illegally, even though the property is owned by one person. But what's the reason the church is only open on Sunday and there was no cause to, go with boat cutters and make a big old scene out here to go in the church? Ain't nobody even in there. They only come once a week.
Do you attend the church, or are you somebody who attends the church?
I attend that church right there.
Yeah.
And I feel bad about them going in my church like that. You know what I'm saying? Because I have the pastor's number, and I could have called the pastor to come out here and open up the door.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not good. There's a lot of other communities need cleaning up, not just this side. They need to go down on Charterway and clean up Charterway too if they're going to do this side, because that looks like they're discriminating against the black folks.
Do you mind giving me your name?
My name?
This is for the Stockton record?
Yeah, my name is Shadow.
Shadow, S-H-A-D-O-W? What about your last name?
My last name is Sargent.
And how do you spell that?
S-A-R-G-E-N-T.
Okay. And how old are you?
How old am I? I'm 53 years old. As of June 27th.
Okay. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Were you a person who bought stuff at this store, or did you?
Yeah, I buy sodas, at this store.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a good store, and I don't know why they're shutting him down. He's a good store.
Okay.
When I graduated, I gave a party up here, a nice party for my graduation when I got my BA from California State University, Stanislaus.
Why do you feel that they're targeting this particular store?
Why are they targeting this store?
Why?
Because they got some idiots running around shooting. That ain't got nothing to do with him. He don't come. That's the police job to control who out here doing the shooting and find out who's doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Not come mess with this gentleman right here. This man just trying to make a business. And the police need to do their job. If people doing stuff and breaking the law, then they need to go check them other people and not check him.
Mm-hmm.
Because this is his store. He can't. He ain't no police. He can't. Do nothing. He might get himself hurt trying to tell these people out here something. Out here.
What's it going to mean not being able to come to the store anymore?
What is it going to mean? It's going to mean a lot, because I grew up out here in this neighborhood, Sharps Lane, and my aunt used to, when it was Cigarini's, my aunt used to work here at this store, and I came to the store when I was little, you know what I'm saying? And for this store to be gone, I'm going to miss this store, because ain't too many stores around here that you can go in the store and buy a soda, for 50 cents, and it's cold on ice, because when you go to some of the other stores, the sodas is hot. So, he have nice cold sodas in the barrel.
Did it bother you that they didn't sell things like fresh fruits and vegetables?
No, it didn't bother me, because some of the fruits is not good for you anyway. For instance, bananas. You can buy bananas, but you can eat too many of them and your potassium build up high. You know what I'm saying? Have fruits in the store. They got other stores. If you want a fruit, you go to a big grocery store like Wimco's, Food for Less, Smart Stores, those kind of stores, you know what I'm saying? And get your fruits if that's what you like, And then they have fruit stands.
You don't want to be on? Okay. All right, I'm going to go take a walk down there, but thank you for talking to me. Newspaper. Well, let's go see what's over here at the church.
Yeah, I did know that.
Can I take a walk inside for a minute?
Sure.
Oh. Well, this is the church that they were just speaking of, at least part of it, and now we'll go into the room where they conducted their services. And it happens to be connected physically to the same building as the New Grand Save Market, which has been taken over by a court-appointed receiver this morning. For those who are wondering, we're at 9th and Airport Way. Not everybody is happy, as you may have just heard about what has happened this morning.
Every time I kick it up a notch. It's every time we kick it up a notch because we learned from what just happened last week.
Yeah,
over
they're yeah, picture where the church is. You got the church out where you got all these shops around it. There's no way to get in the area. Becomes a park where all the casinos, all the public gatherings are held there. You got 2 or 3 bars that fill the whole thing. You got a food store that's all small businesses.
Joe,
That's
he
the
said
same
his job
concept
was
we'd
watch
like to
that.
see out
Okay,
there.
great, thanks.
Because that's what we know we'll utilize it.
Yeah, great.
Neighborhood would love it. Not a Dollar General, it's just going to be another, conceptually Dollar General or one of those kind of stores could go in quickly, but
Yeah.
are they really going to do anything to bring the retail back along here? I don't think so. You usually don't, you usually see a Dollar General go in a low, or a place that's already decimated. Are you in Stockton?
In Modesto, yeah.
Okay, Hammer Lane. Hammer Lane used to be, just a long series of different strip malls. They all used to be very vibrant.
Yeah.
And then they pulled the two. You got, Spanosville built out there. Then you got the whole end on over by 99. So now you got all this commercial on Hammer Lane that's just dead.
Yeah.
Empty. So what do you see? $1. You got this huge long strip mall, right? And $1 General there.
Fred?
Yeah.
This church, do you think they might be kind of an innocent victim in this whole thing?
Yeah, I know nothing about them.
Yeah.
As far as I know,
they just may have the misfortune of having shared the building with.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Other than that, I really don't know.
Because it's tidy here. The room over there looks nice, and
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is. I've never heard anything about it, which is kind of surprising.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you. I'm gonna take a walk down the street again. See what's going on out here.
actually, he said they're not taking anything out, and he was going to go, when he goes in, he's going to bring me with him. So,
Oh, okay.
So,
Where is he?
he's,
Yeah, let me go talk to him.
Or just really conscious owners who don't let people just hanging out on their property. But some sort of solution has to be. So I think Rancho San Miguel is a good model. It takes security guards, and that's what we need to do.
Thank you.
How are you? I'm good. Good to see you.
Happy Friday.
Thank you. Can't wait.
Do you want to talk now? Or do you want to? Okay.
Who's in there right now? Officers? Okay. Jasmine, are you, you happy to see this day come?
Oh yeah. I mean, I've talked with people, a lot of activists and people who have just been wanting this down from residents, and so it's really good to see that years worth fighting for has finally come.
How close to here did you grow up?
I stayed on the other side of 8th Street, so yeah.
Did you always know about this store?
I used to come visit a lot of my friends over here. We used to play basketball around here, so I guess just always being around, I've always seen like how much influence it had on people around here.
And that it had a bad reputation? It had a bad reputation? It was always known for...
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, you see the homicides that just happen here, just so many things that's been happening here. Definitely not blaming the store for it.
Sorry.
But just blaming the environment.
What do you think it can mean for the neighborhood?
I think it's just new beginnings. I'm excited to see what the new receivership does with it, and hopefully he'll continue to talk with residents and folks around the neighborhood to really see like what can people benefit from here. Really providing new opportunities for young people would be really awesome.
And Jesus Andrade, who's running for city council, is here. You're running in District 6. This is in District 6. Why did you come out here today? And what's your take on the importance of this event?
Right. Well, it's a personal thing for me. I grew up on the corner of 10th and Phelps, which is just on the other side of this building, and it's always been one of these places that you never went to. It's always been dangerous. Never told to go there as a kid, and then homicides has always been a part of this.
Were you told not to go there?
Yeah, told not to go there by parents, but we nevertheless came because there was a library back here before Maya Angelou's Southeast Library, and honestly, I think it's time for healing. I think this has been a sore spot for this area, and it's been a barrier for real development for this area. And I think a lot of people are yearning for something positive, something where they can actually go to, walk to, that they can buy groceries, bring their families to. I don't want any more kids told that they can't walk to Airport Way to go to a library or go to community center or go anything else. I want them to actually come here as a place of community, as a place of gathering for the multiple communities that live in this area. And so for me, it was important to witness this. It's historic. Being able to shut down a nuisance business like this means a lot to the city, means a lot to the residents here, and I think it's set precedent for other bad businesses in the area that that there's ways of shutting them down, and so it's community wide, and we want to make sure we set that precedent as a city, and this is why I'm here. I want to see it shut down. I want to see it closed down.
And a lot of us were out here about a month and a half ago after the murder of Akila Fikes, and this is to see this happen about 6 weeks later. At least it feels like, maybe in some small way, that helped get to this moment. That maybe it's part of something good coming. I mean, that's a terrible thing to say, but
I think it'll close the chapter on a violent era in this area, and I think Akila Fikes' life was not in vain. I mean, not only hers, but multiple others who lost their life here in this area. And so, it's coincidental, it's serendipitous that 6 weeks later, this place is shut down, and that the city is also offering to sell some of these lots and to people who want to redevelop the area. So we had to get rid of this sore spot here. This blocked a lot of investment, and this is why we're happy. This is why we're here to celebrate, the beginning of a new chapter for this area. As long as we do.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Do any of you have anything you want to say to the media, reporters?
I don't want to say shit.
Okay, well. All right.
Thank you.
Yep. If you change your mind. If you change your mind. All right. You can tell me how you feel, and I won't show your face. I won't show your face if you want. If you talk, I'll point it this way. What's your?
We just gonna miss the store because the store been in all that. It was called Signorini's, now it's called New Blanche. You know, you already took down Julie's and all that. You know, we ain't gonna have nowhere else to go, to shop or nothing like that, because now we got to travel real far to go shopping now. This was our store.
I stay across the street.
So now we got it. I don't know what we're gonna do.
Why do you think they picked this store to do this to?
Because all the little incidents that's happened, you know what I'm saying? But you can't blame the store owner.
Ain't nobody rushing. People don't hang out because they've been doing all that.
Yeah, so, y'all blaming the store, though. It ain't the store fault. We just ain't got enough police officers running around there doing their job.
Back in the day, they had security guards. How come you didn't have no security guards? You can stop them.
But, y'all pick here, you still got downtown and all that. They do all the violence right across the police station. And they still ain't shut downtown yet. But
you really want to close it because there ain't no meat in there. And what is in there for our families? Noodles, chips.
Well, I was going to ask you. There's no vegetables. There's no fruits. There's nothing. There's really nothing.
It was a meat market, but now they
How long ago was it Signorini's? How long ago was that? Do you remember how many years?
About 20 years.
20 years. Okay.
I was born here.
That was like 20 years ago.
Okay. And they were a full-fledged.
Yeah, it was a full-fledged store. Meat, every time.
Signorini's, Julie's, we had everything.
Yeah, everything.
Pearl Silver, drugstore.
What happened? Why do you think that happened?
I was born in '56, so I was
Why do you think things went so downhill?
Well, that store, I don't know. There wasn't nobody running no business over there, so it was just a building. So I guess they just tore that down.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's kind of messed up though because this is all we knew. Now we ain't gonna have nothing.
No, I think it's
What if something better comes out of this?
I mean, it might. It depends. It might. I don't know. As long as they build something for the kids or something like that, it's all right.
Okay.
You gotta have something. They spend all that money on that bank. They spend all that money on that bank, and if no cameras around here work, I bet that bank camera works. Don't it? How come they can't catch footage? They can zoom in and find out what's happening with us.
They got all these cameras on these poles. They work.
They just worrying about people hanging out. You ain't worrying about it.
Yeah, they worrying about us hanging out.
Yeah.
They ain't worrying about what's going on. They worrying about us hanging out. They don't want us to hang out. So they trying everything in their power to shut it down. Y'all get it? Y'all can do what y'all mission. But I just want
people to sit outside. That's what they do. In my areas, they got a little bit too.
All right. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah, definitely. The directory, people always go, what's the number to traffic? And I'm like,
hey, Roger, how you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hanging in there.
Joe, you're a shell of your former self.
55 pounds.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You only weigh 55 pounds
That's
now?
how much I lost, yeah.
Oh, okay. Officer Joe Silva, you're here today, spokesman for the Stockton Police Department. What do you take as kind of the meaning of what's gone on here this morning?
Well, our neighborhood blitz team, through code enforcement's been out in this area for probably the last 11 months. And the new Grand Safe market historically has been known for a lot of violent crime. We've had shootings associated with people that hang out here, homicides, drug dealing, robbery. And the community out here has been fed up with all the activity going here. So through our code enforcement, through the police department, through other city offices, big players, city attorney's office, they decided that we're going to come out here and get rid of and shut down the new Grand Safe Market just because it's a public nuisance. So they've been working hard on that. We do now have a court order telling the owners that they have to vacate the property, and we have a new receiver that's here that's going to be taking over the property, and we're going to still be out working with the community to kind of figure out what they want here, what kind of store that they want here, what do they want to see here, because it's a two-way street. We're coming out doing our end and getting rid of a nuisance, but now we want to continue with that positive work with our community to figure out exactly what kind of, maybe a store that they might want here.
And just removing the store itself, though, can have a significant effect on crime reduction in the neighborhood?
Yes, unfortunately, a lot of the people that hanged out here in the parking lot and patronizing the store, they were gang members, drug dealers, people that are out committing crime. And getting rid of that element here is going to give this community, right in this immediate area, a lot of much needed relief that they've been asking for years. I mean, we've not only heard from our community members, we've heard from local politicians that this is their area that they serve, and just them passing along that information. And at the police department, we know that we had to do something, but it just takes more than the police. We could come out here, we can do blanket enforcement, we can arrest, but we do know eventually people are going to get out of jail and just come back. So that's why we had to think outside the box and get more agencies involved. So that's why we use Neighborhood Services Code Enforcement. That's why we got the City Attorney's Office involved and other organizations to come out and address this problem. And this community is happy because now they're going to get that needed relief. They're getting the criminal element out of this parking lot. I mean, one of the most significant cases that I remember was back in 2012 when Miss Janetta Gaines was walking out of this store and she was caught in the middle of a gunfire between two gangs. And unfortunately she died. And that's definitely what we don't want, or anybody to get hurt, but especially an innocent person just walking home to get hurt. So if we can get that element out of here and give this community much needed relief, we're doing our job. And other property owners also need to take notice, because what happened here could happen somewhere else in our city. If property owners are letting criminal element, gang members, drug dealers hang out in their parking lots and patronizing their store, we're going to take a close, hard look at them.
And especially now that you've got kind of a case study where you've had success in doing something like this, that would only sort of increase the motivation to try it again somewhere else if you feel it's necessary, if the conditions warrant.
Correct. I mean, since we've got all these different type of city government working on this project with different organizations, we definitely will come back and look at it, see how we did it here, see how it worked. But a big component was working with the community too. But now if we see another problem location pop up somewhere else in our city, now we have a good case study of how we did everything here at the new Grand Safe Market, so we can take this model and gear it towards another problem location. So we'll know exactly what players to get involved, the police, the city attorney, code enforcement, different organizations, and we'll be able to jump on a problem much more effectively.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Talk to you later.
You're welcome.
Now, what do you do? Do you
I remodel kitchens and
okay,
I
so
do
you're a
beautiful.
contractor.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Concrete work to roofing. I actually protect property investments.
Yeah.
I like to just protect what you already have.
Got it.
But
Okay.
if you want a new kitchen and stuff, we can do that. We do swimming pools and this and that.
Got it.
47 now to 48.
I'm going to close off the I think we are here. Nice aquifer.
Well, we're glad to hear it. And Joe's, you know, I was talking to Joe, you know, a couple of years ago. I met him and Ryan at a conference, and I really liked him. Have you ever been to their office?
Mark's the boss, and I will help you. Your vision. I'll work hard.
You know Ryan?
That guy cried through the whole album.
Okay. We take another look inside if anybody hasn't already seen the inside of the new Grand Save Market at 9th Street and Airport Way. I guess you could call it the former New Grand Save Market at this point. Proud day for Starbucks. Kind of feels like a scene from The Walking Dead. What's the dog's name?
Rogan.
Has he found anything?
Not yet.
Interesting.
Just dead mice and beef jerky.
No. So at least he got to eat.
It looks like there's like a room or something, but they're not. It's singular.
Dead mice and beef jerky is what the police dog apparently has found. This appears to be the meat counter. To recap, if anybody's joining, the city of Stockton went to court to close this store down, the new Grand Save Market, at 9th and Airport Way. The judge granted the order on Tuesday. The store this morning was taken over with that legal order by receiver Mark Adams, who was appointed by the court, and by his company, California Receivership Group. The job now for the receiver is to develop a plan to rehabilitate this property in some way and make it a better place for the neighborhood, possibly with a store or stores that would serve the community better. He is going to develop a plan, according to what he has told me, over the course of the next month or so. He will then take that plan to San Joaquin County Superior Court Judge Barbara Cronland in August, he says, for approval, and then I guess they will go from there and we'll see what happens next. But as of about 10 o'clock this morning, the control of this store shifted from the building owner and the individual who leased the facility to operate the store into the hands of the court-appointed receiver. And the new Grand Save Market today will be boarded up. A fence at some point in the next coming days is going to be constructed around the property, and there are going to be 24-hour armed security guards who are going to make sure that that nothing happens here in the days coming up ahead. There are some people outside who say that they hung out here and who are not happy about what's happened today. I'd say maybe about 10 people, but by and large, people from the community have expressed satisfaction that it's a good day for this neighborhood, which has been the scene of many crimes through the years, most recently the murder of 30-year-old Aikila Fikes in the parking lot about a month and a half ago, back in mid-May. So that's what's going on here, and I'll just continue to let this roll. If people want to see some of the other things that they can no longer buy here. And that's about it for the moment. I'll try to find you some donuts and some honey buns. What are you looking for, officer?
Just contraband or anything that shouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mind if I have a few cupcakes? No?
Sure you want it.
I think I'm going to go get myself a yogurt. Some Greek yogurt. Apple juice. Are you all done in here?
Sorry?
Are you all done in here?
Not yet, but
No.
we're getting rid of the patrol guys.
Okay.
Standing by this tool.
And inside?
Huh?
You go in? You look around?
Yeah.
It's nice, huh?
It will. It will.
How are you?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Doing Facebook Live. I'm always
Yes.
in people's Facebook Live shots.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Joe? Okay, then we'll talk.
Yeah. How about water off you?
You know, just thank
Oh,
you. Got it.
thank you.
Yeah, what's your name?
Michael.
Is that one? No, he should be.
Take a walk around the building and just see what's going on. The rest of the place. Maybe I'll take a see if the receiver will talk to me. Have you got a moment to talk, or
yeah, sure.
or
I was just
can-
going to try to figure out how to get some water for everybody because
Oh, I'm sure there's some in there.
that's what I mean. Yeah. Could it wait until then, or do you want me to talk?
I
you
can
wanna
walk
talk
with
first?
you, and we
okay.
can.
Yeah, that's fine.
This is Mark Adams. He's the court-appointed receiver. Can you just tell me about how this has gone, and just I mean, you've done a lot of these. What's what stands out about this one, if anything?
It's gone very smoothly. Hold on, oops, 1 second. Excuse me.
Is it okay if the cameras go inside real quick?
Let me see. They were searching for drugs, so let me see if they're done with that. Then.
So you said it's gone smoothly.
Yeah, this one's gone smoothly. Sometimes, the owner or the market owner or the people outside get so belligerent that it's difficult, which is why we had such a strong police presence here today. But it's gone quite smoothly. Everybody's been cooperative. These are tough situations. I mean, it's, these people's livelihood's going to be affected. So there's a lot of stress in these situations, but so far so good.
From what you've seen inside, is that the kind of thing you've seen before, or in other places that you've done this?
I think the biggest problem here, no. The bigger problem here was what was going on out here as opposed to what was going on inside. Although they're searching for drugs right now, so that may change. But assuming there's no drugs going on here, this was the problem, and it's great that we're shutting it down. We're going to fence the whole property, so some of these guys that have been hanging out here are not going to be hanging out, or they're going to be sitting out on the sidewalk in the heat for the rest of the summer, which eventually they're going to get tired of doing. But no, it's secured, and I just went over to look at that memorial because I mean that to me that symbolizes everything about this place, which is it shouldn't happen that a mother of 3 gets murdered going to the store. I mean, I don't care what she was doing here, but so anyway, I'm pleased with how it's going. I'm pleased that the court appointed me. Certainly, the city officials have been fantastic from the beginning and cooperative.
What do you make of? There's a little church over there that I guess is going to be a casualty of this, and
I don't think it's going to be a casualty. Nobody had been inside, so nobody actually knew that it was a functioning church. But I don't know if you've been over there, but if you see it, it is a functioning church. In fact, we have a guy guarding the door right now because there's a bunch of musical equipment in there, and it's a well-maintained little church, and people were worried about that. But I don't envision. I'm going to have to track down the pastor, whoever's in charge of the church. But I don't envision us shutting that down. There's no reason for that, because the problem was what was going on in the parking lot, not what was going on in the church.
So if as soon as this Sunday, if they have regular services there,
it's going to be okay with me. I just need to find them to make sure that they know that they can do that. But it's not. I will not bar them from being here. This is going to be shut down until we figure out what to do.
And the fence, they'll not be fenced out or anything.
No,
like
we'll have to. Those are details that we're going to have to figure out between now and then. It's a kind of an unfolding situation. Yeah. But as far as I'm concerned, they're going to be able to have services there on Sunday, and I want them to. And I want their musical equipment and certainly their altar and all of that stuff to be protected.
The police code enforcement has reported very unsafe conditions in there, like a fire trap, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, a bad roof. I guess that's stuff that you haven't really had the chance to inspect yourself
I just saw,
yet, or?
yeah, I just saw it inside. There's one whole room with just a bunch of junk in it, and we deal with a bunch of junk property, so that's not surprising to us. But it would be a fire danger, and so once they're done searching for the drugs, we'll get in there. We may have to haul all that stuff away. Those are decisions. But there is a fire trap issue for sure in there.
So, I mean, to say that the problem was only out here, I mean, there were problems in there too.
Yeah, maybe that was an overstatement, but there's certainly what I would call habitability problems in there with dangers. The fire door on the back had 2x4, you couldn't get out. And what I was worried too, I was just over talking. The city folks are gating the two driveways to this. And I just wanted to make sure that they were literally gating it as opposed to fencing it, because it has happened that people sneak in the back and try to cause a fire or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure the fire department can get it.
Okay. And you're saying the armed security for at least a week, but
yeah, as long as it takes. It depends on how long the riffraff wants to hang out here and sit in the sun. But if they move on, we can cut the cost of some of the security. But for now, 24 hours a day, two armed guards, plus we have this lighting system over here, which is it was the one that we could find at short notice, but supposedly that will light up a football field.
Oh,
so
wow.
There's going to be plenty of illumination here. Nobody's going to be skulking around in the corners.
Okay.
So,
thank you.
Yeah, I'm going to see if I can buy some water for everybody in there.
You're actually going to buy it?
I hope so. Okay. I saw the owner for a second.
Got y'all all the water, you turn this thing on now. Of course.
We won't, That's a good one. That was in there last week. It's disgusting.
It'll definitely be an area that needs some definite help. Sir.
Something in here that was disgusting? Or
The store?
Or somewhere else?
We're talking about
Both,
yeah. Mostly some other apartment complexes that we walked through.
Oh.
Did you get a good walk around in here?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Been enjoying it. It's interesting.
And
It's kind of like an episode of The Walking Dead.
And this is the condition that they actually knew since the court that something would be happening. So they've had opportunity to clean it up, fix it up, do whatever they needed to do because they knew we were coming. You're not getting the worst of the worst when we originally found it.
This is Peter Lemos, by the way, from Code Enforcement for the City of Stockton, who's speaking. So this was a pretty smooth effort, though, wasn't it?
So far, it's went over very smoothly.
Mm-hmm.
We've working. Looks like the operators are working with them to make sure everything goes smoothly. We've got both sides of the community out there. Some are positive, some are upset because we're we're bothering their facility.
Mm-hmm. How much longer are you all going to probably be in here?
They're going to be here probably most of the day. They'll be here ongoing.
Okay.
Actually, they're not going anywhere.
You're not taking them.
I've got people here overseeing you.
Are you wrapping up now, or
as soon as you're ready, in fact, I can take you back.
Oh.
Otherwise, I have things to do with it.
Are they doing a press conference?
So
Okay.
I know he's the press all showed up and he met with each one of them.
Okay.
You want water?
Water?
I'm buying.
No thanks.
You want water? I'm buying. You want a water? Yeah, here you go.
Maybe somebody would like a beer.
I'm paying for them, I told you, but everybody needs to have the hot
Maybe
water.
somebody wants a beer.
You done? Oh, well, the guys that do the securing need to get in here to assess how best to close it up.
I need to talk to you.
Okay.
Out of camp.
So I'm glad to know that. So we can.
And Joey is working, talking to him.
Okay. Oswaldo, Adriana, Villarreal, Marine. No, I was not serious about a beer.
See you later.
Okay, thank you. I'm sure you got a lot of good photos, huh?
Real. Yeah, we're just coordinating that right now. They're done with the drug inspections.
Oh, good.
And so as soon as the top, I haven't heard that. But probably not. But as soon as they release it, then we'll I'm going to bring my boarding guy in.
I don't think so this time. I mean, such a basic mark here. I'm not sure exactly. Sounds like they're wrapping up in there as far as the church goes.
Okay, sounds great.
So,
Did you find any? That you know if they found anything in there?
you know, they didn't report that to me, and I was trying to stay out of their way. I didn't observe anything, though. No.
Okay.
Go ahead, go outside.
Thank you.
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you.
Oh no, I'm looking for more. There it is.
She don't know who I was talking about.
Yeah, in the city.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know yet. Let's cross that.
You spent. This is John Prutch from
Prutch, yeah.
from Code Enforcement. You did a lot of the investigating here.
It's it was my cold case.
What where did this rank in terms of things that you've?
You know, I got to check with Joe Silva to make sure I can talk to you because we have. It's. He's our. But I'm not trying to be.
No. You guys don't have to be on. I'm with the Stockton Record. You don't have to be on camera if you don't want. But do you want to talk about what's going on here? Just not on camera? No. No. How about you? No.
You want to
Okay.
be on TV, nigga?
Anyone? Anyone want to say anything about this?
I thought you want to be on TV.
I do, but I
thought you want to be famous.
You don't. You don't. I'm not going to show you if you don't want. Okay.
You ain't got to have your daddy with you.
Thank you.
Okay, I'm good.
Okay.
I didn't want to get in trouble with that.
Yeah, no, I understand. So, you've been doing this a long time, I guess, right?
Yeah, almost 2 years. Yeah.
Oh, almost 2 years. How many times would you say you actually came in here?
I've probably been in here about 30 to 40 times. Yeah. A lot of those times I have to have police officers with me just from the crowds that are out front. It's unsafe for me to go in by myself.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. So the first time you came in here, what went through your mind when you saw what it was like?
That it's just it's the shelves weren't stocked. It's just it's a rather large building, but it's mainly just a glorified liquor store and tobacco sales and hangout.
There were people who alleged that there might have even been drug sales going on inside, that kind of thing. I assume you never witnessed those kind of things?
I never did. I've heard that.
Yeah. And what about the actual structural condition of the building and safety?
There's a lot of plumbing, mechanical, housing code issues. One of the most severe that we've discovered recently was up on the roof, and the roof is in such a deteriorated shape that we actually have a notice for the fire department not to be on the roof, because it's the chance of a fully equipped fireman could possibly collapse through the roof. So that's a serious issue. Yeah.
Do you have the expertise to determine, in your opinion, whether a building like this could be refurbished and brought?
Yeah, I can be, just out of experience. I've seen most buildings can, put it that way. Yeah, with the right amount of money and the qualified contractors and project managers, yeah, this is definitely doable.
Or would it be just as well to knock it down and start from scratch?
You know, I don't know that part of it. You know, good contractor would be able to decide those, to do the math on that.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, all right, brother. Why couldn't it have been cool today? Huh?
Yeah, well, you should have done this in November or something.
I know.
Church.
Well, they give me a bunch of hands. Oh, I look like a pro.
It's a big celebration today.
Guiding this operation.
Are you still doing a press conference, or is there not a need?
No,
Yeah.
we're just doing all the interviews.
That's what I thought. Yeah. So
They
it's
let
pretty.
you guys back inside yet?
Oh, I've been inside 10 times.
Have
I
you?
think,
Hey, Pete.
So it's like a different skill set. You got like accountants on one side, you got like sales on the other.
Are we allowed to go in there yet?
Probably gonna have to get with.
How many years has it been? 4 years.
One of my former cadets right there. Right here.
He's shaking his head.
Every day.
Can we take a picture of you two together?
Back inside.
Hey, do them.
Wait, I don't understand. Who said that? Said to the press? To these groups? Oh, okay. But that was what I was going to ask. If you guys are leaving, because this is where they're sitting right now. property line, you can see it.
Okay.
What's that? Oh, yeah. I think we're going to set up a tour while the guys go through the board. So it's going to be okay. Ask them to just hold for a second while I deal with this.
Stop trying to take my money. 211. 211. Yeah.
We are going to fence that later today. The guy's on his way from Lodi. But they're on private. They're trespassing right now. So. And then also, just so you know, somehow I need to find a pastor at a church to let him know that we'll let him in this Saturday or Sunday. I mean, it's a functioning church, so I don't want to oppose that, even though there's a gate. We'll cross that bridge later. Okay. But anyway, if there's something that you guys can do to rouse these guys, or at least make them sit out on the hot sun.
We're gonna advise them.
Yeah.
Sidewalk, obviously.
Yeah. You know how to do your job.
Nothing's here other than just working.
Yeah.
All the activity's gone through.
Yeah. All right. Good. I think we're going to go in with the...
I got it in my pocket, sir. Trying to rob They just walk past me like I wasn't nobody.
You ain't nobody.
I'm your daddy.
I know.
Hey, you guys want to come here and listen?
Oh.
Again, these aren't Stockton field drawings. This is private property right here. Eventually they're going to fence this all along right here. Okay. And so the new owners want you off their property. This is a sidewalk, they all know that. I'm not trying to get picky with you, but I do have to respect the orders of the owner. So I have to advise you of that, that you're on private property.
Come on, Nosy, let's go.
We gotta leave
right now. Nosy.
Here's the other thing.
Nosy.
Let's go. There's nothing else is going to happen. The only thing that's happening now is they're boarding it up. You're going to see people working and putting up. They're going to put a fence line right here. They're going to board up all the windows and the doors. So there's really nothing else. I mean, the whole idea of the closure and the transfer, that was from the initial beginning. Okay? I appreciate it.
You need to build something out here. I've been living out here 30 years. We ain't even got a gas station. We ain't got a hamburger stand.
They have great intentions for this property. I think you're gonna like it.
I heard that, great intentions. I might be dead. I'm 73 years old. Shit. Shit, I'm doing well. My property is ragged ass country.
Hey, Bino. No. Just running your mouth. Now you scared to talk to the lady, though. Talk to her then. Talk to her. Tell her. You said you want a hamburger stand and all this stuff. Tell them that. Tell them. I ain't got to tell them shit. They know everything out here. They know everything else. Yeah, you tell them shit. You getting the spokesman. Yeah. I'm telling you was over there doing a whole lot of talking just a few minutes ago. But now they got in your face. You got to chill.
Man, you need to chill. If I was doing all the talking I want, that ain't none of your, that ain't none of your business. I ain't got to tell them shit. See, that's your problem. You're on the town man. Shit. Even the motherfucker.
You think mornings they done?
They opened a bank.
What
Now
you
they can't put something else up here.
They had a bank here. They invested here.
It is 11:31.
Thank you.
It's not going to be tolerated.
See you next Wednesday.
See you next Wednesday.
Okay.
If you want, you can start at 8 whenever you want. Just, it's up to you. I don't want you to get up too early.
What time do you start?
Normally. Yeah, normally about 7:30. Okay.
That's
Okay.
fine.
All right. See you then.
If you guys want to come in.
Go ahead, Will. Go ahead.
They're just going to figure out what we need to secure. So if you want to. Oh, are they? Okay. Do any of these lights turn on? Here, see if you can talk to them and figure out and get the rest of the lights on. Just all the lights. Yeah, that's it, Mark. Okay, thanks. I think all our.
She wants to get a ticket.
She does?
So. This is the room that we were most worried about here.
Back here?
Yeah, there's a big storage room with a bunch of garbage in it. See, they had already boarded this up. We may have to further secure it, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
And then all of this stuff, of course, is a complete fire. Where did the rest of the
Neckties, if anybody needs a tie. I've got some neckties over there if you want one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just to see it, because it's that's where the fire danger is if something goes wrong.
Bring those 2x4s in there.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put together a plan for that because this. Yeah, second. And it's nothing here. Did you guys see for some reason, I think your video pointed that out, but there's like 3 displays of bras out there.
Yeah.
It's like.
There's some nice neckties back there too.
Oh, and neckties?
Right back there, yeah.
Oh, God.
So this is the real fire.
Yeah, well, all of this kind of stuff, and I don't know if they have sprinklers. I didn't notice that.
I haven't seen any.
But, that's, and when those things started, fire this building would be down. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, you can see it. It's just.
I'm gonna do something on camera.
Yeah, go ahead.
Any more of those you want to get, like these plywood or something? Yeah, well,
Yes, we're here at Trader Joe's. I mean, the new Grand Save Market.
What customers couldn't see from the outside is this back storage area, which is filled with boxes.
I did not see that.
Can you tell I'm still shooting? Maybe we can do, can we do it after section 1? Would it be a lot of video and then a little sod or just straight line?
Let's just do a video if you do it.
I have to get some more pictures, you know? This is our only opportunity.
Pierce, you're with the receiver, right?
Correct.
Pierce, it's P-I-E-R-C-E.
Right.
What's your last name?
Harper.
You know,
H-A-R-P-E-R.
I have a question because some people are kind of wondering it. Could stuff here that that is recovered from here be given to homeless or low income people? I mean, is there a means for donating some of the materials in here that are usable to people who need them?
There very well might be, but it depends. Right now, I mean, the owner we're holding and we're taking care of things in the interim, but we're a neutral party, so we can't give away what's not ours. So that would be, we would work with the owner, or, you know, so that's to be determined as far as anything that might belong here. So we're not, this is the very beginning stage. We're not sure exactly right now.
Who is that?
He's the owner. I don't
Is
know
that
if you,
Red Rose or Jaswant?
I don't know if he wants to be interviewed
Well,
now. I'm not
can
sure.
ask him.
He kind of walked away, so yeah.
Would you be willing to be interviewed? Are you Jaswant or Red Rose? Thank you.
Oh man, he was already this is today. I tell you what, I need to love damn.
Hey, did you go upstairs in the back?
Oh yeah.
That room up there?
Yeah, I was up here, but I might go back up. Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure you didn't miss it.
It's a mess.
I didn't go that way.
No.
I just said everybody
It's
else.
kind of more of the same.
Okay.
Those are food here that were all expired. But they got rid of it.
There was expired food here, you mean earlier today?
Well, if you look, probably some of the food down here, some of them are expired. The cans.
It's hard for
Some
that
them
kind of.
ooze- There's some. I'm not sure. There's.
I mean, for stuff in cans to expire, it's got to be like
Did you
pretty
film
old.
the storage areas of the alcohol?
You've been upstairs, right?
I was, but I'll go back up.
Did you see the condom?
The what?
The condom?
No.
Oh yeah, let me show you real quick.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I don't think I was in there. Okay.
Go up, we'll go upstairs real quick.
Watch your step, Roger.
I got it.
So right here, Roger?
Yeah.
Behind this door,
Oh, I didn't go in here.
You have a used condom wrapper. They're right there in the nice machine is the condom.
What?
Condom?
Oh, I
Condom?
see.
Yeah. And the wrapper right here by your foot.
Is there any lighting in here?
No. Let me see if I can.
Yeah, can you? Huh. Well, at least they were practicing safe sex.
Oh, come here. Look. Look over here.
Oh.
kind of search it is.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Just want to make sure you saw the whole thing right.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, Joe?
Yes.
Can you give me a little light in here?
Sure. Is there anything good in there?
I can't, it's hard to tell. I just think it's more liquor bottles.
More liquor bottles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All liquor bottles.
Thank you.
Did you see the toilet, the makeshift toilet? Behind there?
Let me see. Oh, you found all the good stuff.
That's the detective in there. You got us to get dirty and search, right? Right back there. That's where they were peeing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
There should be I think there's urine in one of them.
Well, you're going to have to take his word for that, unless,
Yeah, go ahead.
I guess, this was the makeshift bathroom here. And thank you.
You're welcome.
Always find a way to brighten my day.
Try to give you the good shot.
But my question that I was trying to use was, is there 2 or 3 things that I can tell them, if you want to be in there Sunday, they need to be taken care of right now? Because I'd rather, you know, I mean, they're disrupted, they're panicky. I'd rather